20 years ago, Nintendo debuted their follow-up to the N64 in one of my all-time favorite consoles, the GameCube. What's going on, everyone? I'm Jay, the channel Square Pegs. Please hit subscribe down below if you're new around here, doing videos twice a week talking modern and retro games, and I love the Nintendo GameCube, even with all its weird eccentricities. I mean, come on. It's a lunchbox. It's got a handle, right? It's a bizarre little console. It made decisions that were just out of left field. It had mini discs. It didn't have the library that the PS2 and Xbox carried, and it was definitely something that was so Nintendo, and it just could not find its foothold in the marketplace. But today I'm going to look back at some of my favorite memories on the console, as well as my 5 favorite games. So what do you say? Let's take a look. One of my all-time favorite memories of this console is actually working on it when I worked on NCAA Football 2004. It was the camaraderie of the situation. We had a bay full of excellent testers. There were 8 of us crammed into basically a closet, and we made magic. NCAA Football 2004 was a great game, and I just remember the awesome experience of working with people like AP, who I know you guys don't know, but I do, and if he sees this, what's up, AP? Hope you're doing good, buddy. There were unbelievable RPGs on the console, everything from Tales of Symphonia to Bat and Kaitos Origins, but the king of them, my personal favorite, was this guy right here, Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door. Straight up, the original Paper Mario is one of my favorite games, if for no other reason than the N64 version is the game that got my wife Meredith into gaming. I remember coming home from the studio one day to find her in our loft playing Paper Mario and telling me how much she loved it. I mean, so it's no surprise then, right, that The Thousand-Year Door, which improves on the original in every conceivable way, would be in my list of favorite GameCube games. I mean, I think this might be one of the games that benefits the most from the progressive scan mode, giving the game a crisp, cartoony appearance without suffering from the jagginess of the original. And I also really enjoy the music in this game, which has memorable tracks for every section of the game you find yourself in. The Thousand-Year Door plays like a dream, with smooth controls and easy-to-understand mechanics. I also find it to have significantly more memorable sidekick characters, with each having their own distinct personalities and abilities that really lend to the game's overall complexity and enjoyment. But the best part? The best part is the writing in this game. A truly humorous take on well-known characters that really gives major nods back to both the original Paper Mario, as well as Super Mario RPG on the SNES. I have a long love affair with Star Wars dating back to my childhood, and the Star Wars games on the GameCube were great, but none stood higher than Rogue Leader. This is absolutely one of the first games I think of when I think about my time with the GameCube. Rogue Leader was probably one of the 2 quintessential Star Wars experiences on consoles, right alongside the brilliant Knights of the Old Republic. I mean, this is visually stunning, and Rogue Leader does everything right, impressively reenacting historic battles from the history of Star Wars, from the Battle of Endor down to the Death Star trench run. And while each level captures the overall massive scale of these battles in space, the sound of the game might be the thing I find most impressive. Everything feels perfect. The turbo lasers on the Death Star sound like they did in the films. The S-foils on the X-Wings sound like they did in the film as well. Hell, half of the soundtrack is just John Williams' score overlaid on top of the brilliant Factor 5 gameplay, and the other half is a loving interpretation of Mr. Williams' work as performed by Factor 5. I mean, we get a screen crawl at the start of the game. It just feels like Star Wars. That's sometimes really hard to replicate. And each ship in the game, of which there are many, everything from an X-Wing to an A-Wing to the unlockable Millennium Falcon, control reliably and perform as you'd expect based on how they operated in the films. In short, this is the total package for a Star Wars fan. With so many great racing games on the console, a lot of them are in contention for the best of all time, but for me, without a doubt, number 1 goes to Mario Kart Double Dash. I've been playing Mario Kart since it launched on the SNES, and to this day, I've never had a better experience playing the series than what I did with Double Dash. I know the series really jumped forward on the N64, but to me, the GameCube took every improvement that was attempted on that console and perfected them into something that I don't know has been touched since. First and foremost, it gave us our first real new way to play the game, by introducing swappable drivers on the fly, to being able to hold multiple items, as well as introducing special items specific to team pairings. The graphics in the game to this day look fantastic, and the game moves at such a pace that you're left holding your breath at higher CC classes due to how fast things move around you at a buttery smooth 60 frames per second. The roster of the game is incredible, introducing Daisy, Baby Mario, Baby Luigi, Diddy Kong, Koopa Paratroopa, Bowser Jr., Birdo, Waluigi, Toadette, Petey Piranha, and King Boo. There are amazing stages throughout each of the different cups, and the music in the game is magnificent. It also doesn't hurt that the game just hums along in multiplayer, with no perceivable performance dips when running up to 4 players. I know this isn't some folks' favorite Mario Kart, but for me, it does not get better than this. I love fighting games, and one of my favorites on the console, not Smash. I know you guys thought I was going to say that, and Smash is great, but the best for me, Soul Calibur 2. You know, as someone who really only gets into 2D fighters, Soul Calibur 2 completely caught me off guard. I mean, sure, I'd played the original Soul Edge and Soul Calibur on the Dreamcast. Yeah, I mean, they were fun, but I just tend to gravitate most regularly towards things like Street Fighter, Project Justice, Marvel Capcom, and King of Fighters. But Soul Calibur 2 on the GameCube just clicked. And that's not me tossing shade at either the PS2 or the original Xbox versions. Because when you have the opportunity to kill Voldo with Link, that's going to let your game leapfrog into a clear-cut first-place win. I mean, it controls beautifully, and its look is second to none, with massive and detailed character models that are only trumped by the overall stunning appearance of the stages. It's got a good challenge level to it as well, allowing you to ease into the overall mechanics of the game gradually, rather than it beating you over the head with your inept abilities from the first time you launch the game. I mean, sure, the story's a hot mess, and it makes absolutely no sense. Some of the designs in the game are beyond ridiculous, but as a whole, I mean, that's kind of the charm of Soul Calibur, right? And it's just so much damn fun to play. I mean, we used to break this one out regularly on lunch breaks at EA, and getting to play this with a bay full of my favorite people is one of the most positive memories of the place I have. Action RPGs were huge at the time of the debut of the GameCube. Everything from Champions of Norath on the PS2 to Baldur's Gate. These were games that people loved. But for me, my favorite on the GameCube was XMen Legends 2. I adore the XMen Legends series, which became the Ultimate Alliance series, but I really think the series was at its best with Legends 2. I'm always down for a plotline that unites heroes and villains against a bigger threat, and the story in Legends 2 sees the terrifying apocalypse arrive on the scene, causing the X-Men and the Brotherhood of Mutants to unite against his forces. Is this game perfect? No, definitely not. The graphics are a bit muddy, the stage design leaves a little bit to be desired, but in games like this, where I want a cohesive story and a strong presence from each playable character, Legends owns in a way Ultimate Alliance could never hope to do. You see, every character shines in Legends 2. Whether you want to roll with Juggernaut, Nightcrawler, Gambit, Storm, or any of the other 16 main characters in the game, everyone is written true to their character and don't just feel like they've been added to the game for the sake of being added to the game. In particular, I love this game so much because of the strong gameplay elements and writing. There's fantastic dialogue trees that you'll have with each character, and the amount of unlockables and customization you can do for each of them is second to none. Couple that with some solid voice acting from a cast highlighted by Patrick Stewart, Tara Strong, John DiMaggio, and James Arnold Taylor, and you're in for an uncanny time with Marvel's Merry Mutants. X-Men Legends 2 is just one of my favorite memories and one of my favorite experiences playing a brilliant action RPG on a fantastic console.
My powers grow in strength.
Alright, so just some quick honorable mentions real quick, things I just wanted to go back to. Fight Night Round 2 I worked on, I loved working on that game. I also worked on this guy right here, NCAA Football 2004, which I mentioned earlier, but this game is a lot of fun. I'm so proud of what we did with this. Capcom was awesome on the GameCube, and one of the best things they made was the Beautiful Joe series. This game is amazing. I've talked about this on the channel before, but it is one of my absolute favorites. An unbelievable, stylish game with fantastic controls and mechanics in it. It is brilliant. Here's one I wish people would give a chance to. This is a sports game, so I know a lot of people are going to overlook it, but for me, SSX on Tour is brilliant. An absolutely fantastic game and definitely worth checking out. Mario characters are in this one, and they are playable snowboarders and skiers. It's brilliant. This one, you get a twofer. You not only get a really fun 3D platformer in Pac-Man World 2, you also get the fantastic multiplayer game, Pac-Man vs. Tons of hours playing this one with my friend Corey and Bob. Absolutely fantastic game. I love RPGs, and one of the ones that almost made the full list is this guy right here, Tales of Symphonia. This game introduced me to the Tales series. It's going to be something I'm doing a full video of on the history of the Tales series somewhere down the road. I can't wait to do it, but this one opened the door to me to that series. And finally, one of my favorite 3D platformers is this guy right here, Sphinx and the Cursed Mummy. Now, this is something that has seen a revitalization on modern consoles and has been remade, so I hope a lot of people are checking it out because it is absolutely fantastic. 20 years, where has it gone? An absolutely fantastic console, something that I truly love to this day and I still play regularly. The GameCube I have is my original. That thing is built to last. The only things I've changed on it are swapping out the optical drive for my GC loader so I can not burn out my optical drive, and adding the Carby HDMI adapter. Other than that, all OEM, all original materials, never had any problems with it. It is amazing. I have so many positive memories of the GameCube, and it is something that I wish more people had played, and I wish more people had got into when it launched, because personally for me, I like it better than the PS2 and the original Xbox. Let me know in the comments down below what your favorite memory is of the GameCube and what your favorite game was that released for it. And if you just discovered it recently, let me know what your favorite game is that you're playing right now. Please hit like, please subscribe down below if you are new around here, like I said at the start of the video. And hey, if you really dig what I do around here, consider becoming a monthly Patreon sponsor like the fine folks you are seeing on screen right now. Till next time, I've been Jay. Appreciate you spending a little bit of time with me. Until next time, remember to play more games, stay square, and take care. I'll talk to you soon.